Hello, everyone. Here's your weather hazard briefing for Saturday, December 16th. We've got some fog and stratus, not as widespread as of late, but there's a bit of that around, and in some places it is pretty dense out there. Otherwise, we have the potential some rain and snow starting again early in the next upcoming week here before Christmas. Not a whole lot coming our way, it looks like, at this point, and we may even be seeing that trend drying out over the next few days. But as long as high pressure is holding, we still have that stratus and fog potential around. And like I said, it's a less coverage this morning, but it still is dense out there. A good example here at the office, visibility this morning has been down to around to a couple of 100 feet. We can't even necessarily see across our parking lot here. So that's how dense it is in some places. Otherwise, with the ridge still in place, once we get the inversions to break in the lower elevations and we get some sunshine, temperatures will be warming there. We're already seeing warmer temperatures into the mountains, and with that, some areas will see above average high temperatures during this pattern. And like I said, by Monday night into Tuesday, that's when the first round of showers returns, and not much expected our direction. As you can see, we can notice the high pressure area to our west, the ridge to our west, just off the coast. That's ahead of a big old low out across the Pacific. We're in northwest flow here with higher clouds moving over, and with this weak little wave coming through this higher cloud cover, that is actually helping to create the conditions that we're seeing. Not a lot of fog, drier air, at least a little bit of dry air and mixing has kept the widespread stratus out as well. But you'll notice, taking a little closer look, the higher clouds are obscuring some of the lower clouds. The white and gray, that's the higher clouds. The bluish, that's where the low clouds are. We continue to see that across Lemhi County back down into Chalice. We've actually seen a little bit of lake effect coming off American Falls Reservoir and pushing down towards Burley, between Burley and American Falls. Activity localized around the airport. The most widespread fog and low clouds is down places like the Marsh Valley, the Jim Valley, down from Georgetown Summit into the Bear Lake area this morning. And we'll reiterate, it is very dense. It's the conditions that you really can't even necessarily see if you're driving in front of your car. That doesn't mean you need to just stop in the middle of the roadway, but definitely take it slow. Don't drive with your brights on. That'll just make things even worse for driving, especially before the sun comes up this morning. So the worst conditions with the fog is up around Chalice and also into the southeast highlands, and like I said, localized in the Pocatello area, especially out by the airport. That patchy dense fog and stratus potential is there for Sunday. We'll take a look at things here in a moment. Things try to return, but we may not see like we have seen the past few days, excluding this morning. And it's a race between the next wave coming in and potential for low clouds and patchy fog Monday morning. Then the rain and snow showers return. Some very low impacts up in the central mountains, especially around Stanley and the Sawtooth and surrounding areas. Just some minor accumulations of snow possible in those particular areas. So I want to look at something here pretty close this morning. And this is taking a look, and it's looking at visibility. We're not necessarily going to show it as visibility. I want you to kind of see how the pattern is. And the little animating white particle flow is what it's called here on this particular graphic. But you can kind of see the flow, the wind flow across the area. This is for noon today. Still some lingering stratus and low clouds across the southeast corner and probably around Pocatello, American Falls. Elsewhere, except maybe for the Camas Prairie, a little bit overdone. Some of the higher resolution models have been pretty gung-ho where we've had no low clouds and fog this morning. But as we go into the afternoon, we'll stop here around 5 or 6 o'clock. We start to see that redeveloping. You'll notice we still have a northeast wind across the Snake Plain into the Magic Valley. Not as strong as we've seen in some places this morning. We've seen some winds 10 to 15 miles an hour this morning. That's helping keep things stirred up over the area. But otherwise, not a lot of wind other than terrain-driven gap winds, that sort of thing by this afternoon. We go into tonight, we'll go through to around 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, and you'll notice that the pattern, at least, don't necessarily pay attention to where we have some of the brighter colors, which would be indicating the potential of some fog. It's there. It's anywhere we can get this to develop overnight. Notice the general pattern is all the way up and down the Snake Plain Magic Valley over into the Treasure Valley. We might see a little bit up into the Island Park area and again across portions of the Southeast Highlands. Don't be surprised if it's foggy, pretty foggy again around Bear Lake, also around the Jim Valley, Marsh Valley areas, even down towards Preston and Malad as well. Will we see stratus? Potentially, we'll see some stratus. Will we see some fog? Yes. Will we see some dense fog? The potential is there. This is kind of we're in this kind of transitional pattern we see sometimes where we have several days of low clouds and fog. It goes away for the most part, and it tries to reform. And honestly, it's probably going to be a mix of clouds, some patchy fog, and some patchy dense fog within where we see that fog this morning. So just be prepared for a little bit of everything across the area. This is for tomorrow morning. We'll see that decreasing as we go into Sunday afternoon across the region. So, like we said, it's a bit breezy out there this morning, but the wind really is not a factor otherwise and won't be a factor at least for the next 24 hours or so in terms of other than maybe pushing some of the fog and stratus around the area. Temperatures this afternoon, warmest along the 86, 84 corridor, where we'll see temperatures in the mid to upper 30s, low 40s once you get into the Treasure Valley, also down towards City of Rocks, also down towards Malta in that direction, and even some above the inversion, some low, maybe in a few mid-40s across the area. Otherwise, temperatures at or below freezing. For tomorrow morning, again, dropping off into the teens and 20s, being warmest above the inversion in the 20s, teens and single digits where we get the coldest air to sink in and settle in tomorrow morning. And you'll notice temperatures tomorrow not much different from today, maybe a degree or two cooler across the board. Under the inversion, above the inversion, we'll call it a degree or two warmer for Sunday afternoon. Going into Monday, we start to warm up. This is probably a little bit too aggressive. It all will depend on how much, if we can get some low clouds and fog to develop on Monday morning. But like I said, it's a race between the next wave moving in and that potential developing. So, but potentially a few more upper 30s to low 40s across the board, even a few more mid 40s, the Teton Valley up into the Stanley Basin as well, where they've been out of the inversion once we get into the afternoon hours. Tuesday and Wednesday, we do warm up. We finally mix out the inversions for the most part. That allows us to warm up, even though we'll have increasing clouds and some rain and snow showers around. So seems kind of strange. Usually when we get clouds and some showers around, it cools off. When we have these inversion conditions, it kind of actually does the opposite where the inversions have been holding in our area. And that's pretty common pattern out west here in the cooler part of the year. So again, high pressure, less coverage of that low clouds and fog this morning, but that potential is around in a few spots, and it's very dense where we are seeing it this morning. More around for tomorrow morning as well. We'll just have to wait and see how things develop later on tonight. It's warmer, continuing at least a warming trend into the early part of the week. Again, above average high temperatures in those areas, and some rain and snow showers returning by Monday night and Tuesday. But for now, not expecting a lot of moisture to fall over our area. Have a great Saturday, and again, you run into some of that fog out there, slow down, don't stop, and keep those brights off, and stay safe out there, everyone.